Now in this part we are going to see the rise of socialism, communism, communalism and the struggle in princely states. Let's see the rise of socialism first. Russian Revolution of 1917 inspired many young Indians. The period after the Great Depression of 1929 saw rise of socialism in India. The Great Depression had exposed the shortcomings of the capitalist system. Leftist tendencies were seen both within and outside the Congress. Many left-wing organizations were formed in the 1920s and 30s. The Congress under Gandhi had already become an organization for the masses. The poor peasants and urban workers had pinned their hopes in the Congress. At the 1931 Karachi session, the resolution on fundamental rights and economic policy was passed. It declared that with political freedom should also come economic freedom. Within Congress, leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose had leftist leanings. They pushed for reforms through Congress. Nehru was President of Congress in 1929, 1936 and 1937. Subhash Chandra Bose was President of the Congress in 1938 and 1939. In his presidential address at 1939 session, Nehru urged the Congress to adopt socialism as its end goal. The election manifesto for 1937 elections also promised a radical transformation of agrarian system, scaling down of rural debts and provisions for cheaper loans, a living wage for agricultural laborers, the right to form trade unions and peasant unions, and right to strike. At the 1938 Haripura session under the presidency of Subhash Chandra Bose, the Congress committed itself to economic planning. A National Planning Committee was set up under the chairmanship of Jawaharlal Nehru. The National Planning Committee advocated bringing large-scale industries under public sector. In 1939, at the Tripuri session, Subhash Chandra Bose once again became president by defeating Gandhiji's nominee, Pattabhi Sitaramaiah. But Gandhi continued his opposition to Bose. This led to resignation by Bose. Bose formed a radical and progressive party within the Congress called the Forward Bloc. In response, the Congress, which was under heavy influence of Gandhiji, expelled Subhash Chandra Bose from the party. The Congress Socialist Party was a left-wing group within the Congress. It was formed in 1934 under Acharya Narendra Dev and Jayaprakash Narayan. Its other members included Meenu Masani, Ashok Mehta, Yusuf Mehrali and Achyut Patwardhan. Now let's see socialism outside the Congress. P.C. Joshi led the CPI as its General Secretary from 1935 to 1947. The All India Student Federation was formed in 1936. It was inaugurated by Jawaharlal Nehru and presided over by Muhammad Ali Jinnah. The All India Writers Association was formed on 9th April 1936 under the leadership of Sayyid Sajjad Zahir and Ahmad Ali at Lucknow. Now let's move on to the rise and growth of communism in India. M.N. Roy is said to be the founder of the communist movement in India. In 1919, he came in contact with the Bolshevik Mikhail Borodin and in 1920 attended the Second Congress of Communist International in Russia. In October 1920, M.N. Roy, Abani Mukherjee, Muhammad Ali, Muhammad Shafiq formed the Communist Party of India at Tashkent. In 1922, M.N. Roy shifted to Berlin and from there started publishing the fortnightly Vanguard of Indian Independence. He also authored the book India in Transition. This book was a Marxist analysis of Indian economy and society. After this, he started establishing links with the communists back in India, which included S.A. Dange in Bombay, Muzaffar Ahmad in Calcutta, Singaravelu in Madras and Ghulam Hussain in Lahore. S.A. Dange was the editor of a communist journal named Socialist. Now the British government was supporter of the capitalist system, so they were threatened by the rise of communism in India. In May 1924, Muzaffar Ahmad, S.A. Dange, Shaukat Usmani and Nalini Gupta were arrested in the Danpur Bolshevik conspiracy case. Now let's see the rise of communalism in India. The 1930s saw rapid spread of communalism in India. The 1937 elections were based on separate electorates. This led to communalism and separatist tendencies. Congress had become a party of the masses. They took up peasants' causes. So the landlords and moneylenders started shifting towards Hindu and Muslim communal parties. This led to the strengthening of such communal parties in this period. The Muslim League led by Jinnah strongly opposed the Congress. In 1940, the Muslim League passed a resolution demanding partition of the country and creation of a new independent state called Pakistan. Now, after the 1937 elections, the Muslim League wanted to form a coalition government with Congress in the United Provinces, but the Congress rejected this. From then on, the Muslim League established connections with the Unionist Party leader Sikandar Hayat Khan in Punjab and Krishak Praja leader Fazlul Haq in Bengal. Communalism among Hindus was also growing in the form of Hindu Mahasabha. Some congressmen were active members of the Hindu Mahasabha. So in 1939, the Congress Working Committee declared Hindu Mahasabha membership to be a disqualification of Congress membership. The Hindu Mahasabha was gaining strength under V.D. Savarkar. This period also saw growth of paramilitary communalist bodies. In Punjab, Inayatullah Khan Mashriqi formed a Muslim cadre called Khaksars. KB Hedgewar's Rashtriya Swayam Sangh was also spreading rapidly across India with its base at Nagpur. By 1940s, RSS had a highly trained cadre of 1 lakh. Now what about the struggles in princely states? Since 1930s, the national movement spread to the princely states. People organized movements to demand democratic rights and popular governments. In December 1927, an All India State People's Conference was founded to coordinate political activities in various princely states. The Indian National Congress showed its support for the state people's struggle and urged the princes to introduce democratic representative government and civil rights. In 1939, Jawaharlal Nehru became the president of All India State People's Conference. In the next video, we shall see the events leading to the Quit India movement.